everybody, welcome back to Stoner Girl Otaku. It's your girl Anae here, and I'm back with another review video. Obviously from the title, this time I'm reviewing Boruto. If you are new to the channel, I hope you subscribe, and if you're not and you're a regular subscriber, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. Hopefully you guys like this video. I mean that literally, and of course I really hope you like it. And I hope you continue to watch my videos. If you haven't checked it out, check out my latest video. All the links to my most recent videos will be down below in the description. But let's go ahead and get into this Boruto review. Now this one isn't really like a review on Boruto, the entire show, and the manga and the movie. No, this is what I like to call the manga reader's guide to the Boruto anime, because a lot of my friends prefer to read the manga and not watch the anime because, let's just be honest, there's a lot of filler. It's a lot of stuff that did not happen in the manga that they're just animating, and one of my best friends said basically he doesn't want to watch it. He'd rather me make a video wrapping up that filler and just letting you know what arcs to watch, what episodes to watch. And so here I am, here to give you guys a little rundown on Boruto, the actual anime. So let's go ahead and get into some basic information for anybody that does not watch Boruto or does not know anything about Boruto. So, Boruto is basically the third installment to the Naruto series as a whole. It takes place after Naruto becomes the Hokage, so this is after Shippuden, years after Shippuden. Naruto is full live the Hokage, he's a full live adult and has a son named Boruto, who's basically carrying on his legacy of, you know, just being dope. Now, some of the differences between Naruto and Boruto is Boruto does not have any dreams of being Hokage. Instead, Sarada does. So in case you don't know, Sarada is Sakura and Sasuke's daughter. She's my complete favorite character in this show. I love Sarada. I'm Team Sarada. Sarada wants to be the Hokage, and I'm completely here for it, because if you guys watch Naruto and Shippuden, the Uchihas deserve a chance at being Hokage, okay? They deserve it. They've been through so much. Finally, let's just give it to Sarada at this point. That's where I'm at. And the third member of their team is Mitsuki. Mitsuki is Orochimaru's son. We'll just let y'all simmer on that. If you haven't seen Boruto and don't know, Orochimaru has a son, and his name is Mitsuki, and he's like a clone of a clone of a clone. There was a Boruto movie that came out directly after Shippuden, which is basically what Boruto is about. It's just a little glimpse into Boruto, so I hope you guys have seen the Boruto movie. If you haven't, definitely check it out, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I do like the Boruto movie more than the manga. Just not the manga, more than the anime, just a little bit. It literally goes Boruto manga, Boruto movie, and then Boruto the anime. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. There's a lot of filler in Boruto, and I get it, but I just don't get it, because there's things I understand but don't understand, because at this point they're basically caught up to the manga, and it just seems like they added a whole buttload of filler to not catch up to the manga, but they caught up to it anyway. So yeah, that's I guess one of the cons of Boruto the anime. And I think that's pretty much all I got, like a basic what it is. Now the anime has 20 arcs total, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you know now, only about 5 or 6 of them is basically the anime, like the manga. I would say total is probably about, let me stop lying, 5, 6, 7, 7. So 7 out of the 20 arcs are definitely adaptations of the manga and or movie. Several of the arcs are actually animated adaptations, well, are book adaptations from the short stories and or novels that have dropped amongst the in the Naruto series as far as books. And also one of the arcs is actually one of my favorite books I showed you guys in my manga collection video. Check it out if you haven't. And that is Naruto, the 7th Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring or Scarlet Moon whatever it is, you know I'm gonna correct it. But that's actually the SARADA UCHIHA arc. That one is actually a whole volume that I actually personally liked. It was one of the reasons why I kept reading Boruto, because I just enjoy seeing everybody where they left off. So I love seeing Naruto as Hokage. I love seeing Sasuke as like the right hand man, Shikamaru as like the number 2. I love seeing all of that. So like I said, a few of the other novels are actually just adaptations of books and or novels. I'll shoot a list somewhere around here in their covers so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, before I go into this, let me tell you, of course it's gonna be spoilers, and that's the whole point of this video. The whole point of this video is to spoil the anime for my fellow manga readers that don't want to watch the show. So we're gonna have some honorable mentions in here, because there are some arcs that I truly enjoy and I just really think you should watch this because they're good episodes, honestly and truthfully. As I said before, Boruto is the 3rd part in the Naruto series. So it goes Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, then of course it would go to Boruto. I already told you there are 20 arcs of Boruto. There's a movie, and of course, like I said, there's a manga. So the order of everything was Shippuden, the Boruto movie, then it was the Boruto manga, and then the anime came about. Boruto came about in literally like 3 years. Like, we got the movie in October 2015, we got the manga in April of 2016, and then the show was announced and previewed in 2018. I want to say in April. I've been keeping up with Boruto literally since the movie in 2015 and the manga release in 2016. So I'm completely caught up on the manga. I've literally been like trying to love Boruto since the minute it was announced. I started watching the anime when it first released, and I watched it from about arc 1 to arc 9, which was about episode 92, 96, I believe. Basically, I stopped watching directly after the Mitsuki disappearance arc. Basically, directly after the Mitsuki disappearance arc, I kind of stopped watching it because it got super fillery. Like, oh my god. Jeez. So basically, I watched arcs 1 through 9, which left 10 through 20 for me to catch up on, which I did literally in about 2 weeks, and that was like 3 weeks ago. So this was in the past couple months. I caught up with the anime all over again. I'm gonna go ahead and sum up what arcs 1 through 9 are, so that way you have a general idea of, you know, what I watched. I'm not gonna go into depth about it because I'm going into depth about the other ones. Arc number 1, that's the Academy Entrance Exam. It's episodes 1 through 15. It basically is the Academy Entrance Exam, obviously, and it's the class rep in new incident. So we're getting a lot of background information on Boruto, as well as some of the supporting characters that do come up in the manga, for instance, because class rep, she does pop up a lot. Obviously, she has a crush on Boruto, and that's why she's important. So the first arc centers really around the class rep in new in that incident, and just gives us slight background information on some of the characters. It's our introduction to all the characters anyway in the first place. So it was really like a nostalgic kind of thing, because it was just like, oh yay, it's new Naruto, yay, let's watch it. Arc number 2 is one of my favorite arcs personally. It is the SARADA UCHIHA arc. It is the adaptation of Naruto, the 7th Hokage in the Scarlet Spring, the book I mentioned a little while earlier, and also showed you guys in my manga video. Watch it, link below. This one, like I said, was one of my favorites because I read that book when it came out, as well as I love SARADA. She's my favorite character in Boruto. I love her. I love the story. Just real quick, the story is basically SARADA never saw Sasuke. She didn't know anything about Sasuke until this arc. And she also didn't think Sakura was her mom, because SARADA's just weird like that. Arc number 3 is the school trip arc. That is when they went to the land of the mist, and we had that little cameo from the new Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. It was a really good arc to me. I enjoyed it. A lot of these beginning arcs I liked because it was like catching up with old friends and or seeing the new generation and seeing how everything's changed and just picking up after the Great Ninja War, the 4th one. Moving on to arc number 4. Arc number 4 was the graduation arc, when they graduated from the academy. Again, was not in the manga, not really filler, but still, it was a good little whatchamacallit. The 5th arc was Team 7's first mission together. This is the GENIN mission arc, which is Team 7's first mission together with Konohamaru. Again, a lot of these arcs are a lot of character development, picking up where everybody left off, as well as showing us who's who, what's what, and what's going on. Arc number 6 is the BYAKUYA gang arc. This one really centers more so around Shikadai and gives us some character development with him, as well as just some like cool fight scenes, all that good stuff. So moving on to arc number 7. Arc number 7 is the tuning exam arc. This is the adaptation of the movie. So this is canon, this is the manga, this is the movie. This is when stuff really starts to get into the nitty-gritty. In the previous arcs and in some of the previous episodes, you get to see more background to, again, stuff we didn't get in the manga. So some of the episodes in these first arcs, for example, we had the Himawari birthday episode and the Boruto birthday episode. As you all know, if you guys read the manga and watched the movie, Naruto is kind of a shitty dad because he's the Hokage, so he's missing a lot of stuff. And when you watch the Boruto movie, you only got to see like Boruto kind of being a douche to Naruto, and we were all like, do you not know who your daddy is? Like, put some respect on that nigga name. However, when you watch the anime, you actually get some more background into why Boruto feels the way he feels about Naruto. So he misses Boruto's birthday, and then of course he messed up Himawari's birthday in this arc, the tuning exam arc, which was also in the movie. Now, I enjoyed this arc very much so. There were some slight things I didn't like Momoshiki is like different in the anime, like his final form is different in the anime and in the movie. However, it's a 10 out of 10 for me as far as the arc and the movie in the adaptation. Like arc number 7, this arc is probably the best, one of the best arcs as far as like animation, story, fight. It's just really good. Definitely watch it if you haven't watched it. This is definitely where you should start. If you're like just a manga, this is where the manga reader's guide to Boruto starts. This is where you should start.
When I originally recorded this video, I actually got the storylines mixed up because the CHOCHO arc is only 3 episodes. So it's basically about CHOCHO and learning to appreciate herself and her self-image. She gets a role in a movie in her butterfly mode, which makes her skinny, and she just has to deal with that. Now, this is what I mean from going from a real exciting arc to going to something like kind of insignificant, like super fillery and not important. But it was a cute little arc, and that's really all it is.
So, with that being said, we went from the CHOCHO arc to the Mitsuki disappearance arc. I prefer to call it the Mitsuki retrieval arc because it was very reminiscent of the Sasuke retrieval arc. It was like damn near to a T exactly what it was. I did like this arc. It gave me a lot of background to Mitsuki, and also we got to see the Tishikage, which I was excited to see him. I was so happy to see him, like RIP, because he dies in this arc. This was not part of the freaking manga. I'm sad it wasn't, because I think one of the downfalls for the manga for me is we don't get a lot of background information on Mitsuki. It's very much centered around Boruto. And with the anime, they did try to give us more background to the, like I said, to the supporting cast. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing Mitsuki and getting those little nostalgic hints of like the Sasuke retrieval arc. I liked it. you can take it or leave it when it comes to watching it, because it really just centers around Mitsuki, not really around Boruto. Also, I believe this is the arc where we get to see Mitsuki in his sage mode, which was super lit. So like I said, that is where I left off in the anime. I stopped watching there. Like I said, I believe it was like episode 90. That was actually episode 95 I stopped. So I literally watched from episode 95 to episode 211, right? And I did that in 2 weeks. But that's all the arcs that I watched. That was my quick summary. Now let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty, the good parts of arcs. Basically 9.5 all the way to arc 20, where we are now. All right, like I told you, I stopped watching Boruto on episode 95 because after this Mitsuki disappearance arc, we go into the parent-child day arc, which was a lot of filler. Actually, honestly, quite frankly, after this Mitsuki arc, it gets very off track to me. It starts moving very slow. Again, I don't understand why, because they caught up with the manga already at this point. So yeah, I was very much confused. Arc 10, Parent-Child Day arc. This is actually an adaptation of one of the short stories I was telling you about, which is probably why they animated it. And I'm not mad at it. I'm truthfully and honestly not mad at it. But my main gripe with the Boruto anime is it just seems like they go from something super lit into something super boring. It's like so off base. Like, I didn't like it. It's just like what I was saying. They went from the Chunin exam arc to the CHOCHO arc. Like, I don't need that. And I like CHOCHO. I like seeing like the kids with their parents. I just don't want to see that after a super lit arc. Arc number 11 was the Hugo arc. I liked it. You got to see Karen and Hugo. You basically got to see Tara, or whatever they were called, Toka, whatever Sasuke's little bullshit name of his little gang was after he left. We got to see everybody together. So we got to see Hugo, we got to see Karen, and we got to see Sugetsu all together. And they all got to spend time with Boruto and Sarada and Mitsuki. I liked it. It was good. Arc number 12 was the Ninja Steam Scroll arc. Again, this is also an adaptation of a short story / novel. This arc centered around Asuma's daughter, Mirai, I think that's what it's called. And she tags along with Kashi Sensei and Might Guy. It's good. You got to see them. You got to see Kiba. You got to see his girlfriend. You got to see all that good stuff. You even got a little Joshin reminder. You got to see a little Joshin cameo. It was good. It was just Mirai learning about her dad. Now, by far, literally one of the most annoying arcs to me, like aside from like the CHOCHO arc, was the Konohamaru love arc. Don't be mad at me, don't get me wrong, love Konohamaru, hate this arc, thought it was stupid, thought it was a waste of time. Again, we go from something lit, a lot of action, to something really boring, didn't like it, don't watch it if you don't want to. After the Konohamaru love arc, which is arc 13, we have 14 and 15. This one centers around Urashiki. He's the other Otsuki, you know how to say it. He's the third member that popped up. Him and his existence in just the anime, like, don't get me started. I have a hate-love relationship with this because it was, to me, I don't think Urashiki was needed. His existence is not important to me, other than the fact it gave us some more background information on the Otsukis, and also it was kind of just his existence gave birth to one of the arcs of this show that I literally hold near and dear to me. And so that would be arc number 15. That one is the time slip arc. But before we get to arc 15, arc 14 was the One Tail Escort arc. Again, more nostalgic tips because we got to work with the Sand Village. We got to see Gaara's son again. Of course, we got to see Tamari and Kankuro. Good fighting. We also got to see a lot of Sasuke, which I appreciated because, you know, I love me an Uchiha. And I love Sasuke being on this whole redemption thing. I thoroughly love Sasuke in this anime. Not that I ever hated Sasuke, but I'm glad that we finally get to see a softer side of Sasuke. I'm glad we get to see Sasuke as a dad. I'm glad we get to see him as a teacher. I'm just glad we get to see Sasuke being him, because you know we could have just not seen him at all. Like, quite frankly. But the One Tail Escort arc is basically Urashiki versus everybody trying to get chakra. He is at this point trying to kidnap anybody's chakra he can with his little fishing pole. He's after tailed beasts, hence the One Tail. We also got to see a really cute episode of Shikaku and Himawari. It was really cute. I liked it. Again, there's just certain, like, watch it if you want to. You don't necessarily need to watch it, but it's a good little watch. From there, we go into the time slip arc. Again, this is literally also one of my favorite arcs in Boruto. I definitely recommend you watch it. Just if you're an anime fan of if you're a Naruto fan, I definitely suggest you watch it, because it'll have you wanting to rewatch Naruto, which I'm actually doing right now, because that time slip arc, I had to, because you got to go back in time, and there's a lot of great character development for Sasuke in that arc. I literally think that this arc, aside from it being on the 20th anniversary of Naruto, it is an arc that you get to see Sasuke and his softer side, because you go back in time to literally after Sasuke left the village, and he got to see how it really affected Naruto and Sarada, how it affected them as kids. And like I said, you got to see a softer side of Sasuke, because he's around everybody who he left, and he's just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I really kind of did fuck up. I was kind of a douchebag. So again, I definitely recommend you watch the arc. I think it's really good. I don't want to go into too much spoiling. However, Jiraiya Sensei in that arc, watch it. It's amazing. That's also part of the reason why I did my rewatch. I started doing my rewatch because everybody on Twitter was going in about that time slip arc, and going in about stuff from that arc and beyond, because you start to catch up with the manga at the end, towards the end. Like, these last couple arcs are all about the manga. Moving on to arc 16. Now, arc 16 is not an adaptation of the manga, but this is another one of the arcs that, as a manga reader, you should probably watch, because it's gonna give you background information into some characters that you didn't know anything about. I call this one the Hozuki prison castle arc, because they're at a prison, but also it's the Tento arc. And the Tento arc was actually in the manga. So this MUJINA Bandits arc is the Tento arc animated. So that's why I said you should probably watch it. It's also giving you background information to, like, the bad guy in the Tento arc, the one that kidnapped him. I can't think of his name. I'll show you his fat ass face. But you get how he was even important, because in the manga, it literally was just like, oh yeah, we're the bandits, we them niggas, and we had no idea who they were. Arc 17 is the Kara ACTUATION arc. Now again, this is like some of the manga animated. I'll throw up a panel of what it looks like, and it's also just giving you some background into Kara. I also call it the Hashirama Cell Retrieval arc. That's what I nicknamed it, because that's what it's about, essentially. It also shows you some insight on Kara. It's their literal first appearance in the anime. We didn't really get that in the manga. Like, we didn't get any of this at all in this arc. However, we got background information on it, basically how Kara was moving and what they was doing, and how they even got to the point that they did with the ninja tech, because you got to find out who was an outer and an inner, what the definition was, and just background information on Kara. I liked it. Definitely should watch it if you're a manga reader, if you want that missing information. Which brings us into arc 18, which is the vessel arc. This is literally getting into the super nitty-gritty of the manga. Again, one of the arcs you should watch. It's AKA the Owl arc. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you know who Owl is, you know who he is, and he's back. So this is the Owl arc. Also, our first introduction to Kawaki. This is our first little glimpse at Kawaki, and hello, who doesn't love Kawaki? I love Kawaki. He's pretty fucking dope. I love his tattoo on his face. It's lit. After the vessel arc, this brings us into, they have them separated as 18 and 19. They're both Kawaki arcs. They're just minor differences. So it's like, oh, you know, they're just named Kawaki Arc 1, Kawaki Arc 2. They're basically together though. This is Kawaki's entrance into the anime, the moment everybody was waiting for. One of the main reasons why I started watching Boruto again is because we finally get to see Kawaki. We finally get to see GENIN, and we finally get to see UCHIHA. So we got to see all that unfold. So again, as a manga reader, if you're gonna watch it, definitely watch these last couple arcs, because that's when shit gets real. And then one of the most important things about these last two arcs is you get to see Code. If you read the manga, you know we don't know. We didn't know shit about Code. He literally just pops up. We ain't know nothing of him. We didn't even know where he was and what he was doing. And in the anime, you find out who Code is, what he was doing, and why he was at that cult, and who he was under. And also in these arcs, you get the Boro fight, you get Kash and Koji. That's literally like one of the last couple episodes. You finally get that fight with him and GENIN. And finally, we're working our way into the most saddest thing I've ever seen. I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but oh my god, as a Naruto fan, this episode that's about to drop next week is about to hurt my heart. Like, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared. I just can't. I'm gonna go ahead and get into my actual thoughts on Boruto, some of the stuff that is not related to the manga, but I just personally liked, like just basically some filler that I really liked. Alright, so now that I done went through and reviewed everything for you, now it's time for me to tell you some of my favorite things about Boruto, my pros and my cons. Now, don't get it twisted, I did thoroughly enjoy Boruto. I'm glad I rewatched it, especially because I got to see, like I said, the main thing is I got to see a lot of background on the stuff in the manga we didn't get. I got to see a lot of character development for the characters I know, as well as characters I had no idea about. There are some filler that I don't care for, and there's some filler I actually like. Now, even though filler is like a loose term, because I do consider stuff, anything that's written down or like a book or manga, of course, to me is canon. So there is actually a lot more canon in here than you would think. But there's also an assload of filler that to me is just not important. However, the good things are the nostalgic moments and the connections between the characters, and just like the update that we just get to see everybody grown up and their kids and how much their kids are like them. I like it. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, because I know that Boruto gets a lot of hate. I don't hate Boruto. Is it my favorite? No. Where do I put it in comparison to Naruto and Shippuden? Definitely at the bottom. But there are really good parts to it that I thoroughly do enjoy. I already told you some of my favorite arcs are, of course, the SARADA arc. I enjoyed, of course, the Chunin exam arc, the time slip arc. I liked the little mini arc with Mitsuki and the kitten. Like, I enjoyed those episodes. I enjoyed, of course, Shikadai, even though those episodes with Ino Shicho really weren't my favorite. However, one character who's actually I really do like is a little samurai girl that's in like Team 10, I think. Oh, speaking of like Team 10, I'm pretty sure it's Team 10. I enjoy seeing like Konohamaru and Hanabi. I ship them. I want them to be together. But that's not the point. I enjoy seeing, of course, Shino as the teacher. I enjoy seeing, of course, Sasuke. I mentioned it a whole bunch of times before. You got to see Sasuke as a dad, and it's really dope. You get to see Naruto as a dad, Hinata. Himawari is one of my favorite characters. I freaking love her. Low-key, no lie, I think we should definitely get something just geared to Himawari. Like, if we ever have a time skip, I really would enjoy just getting a whole arc about Himawari and her being a beast. Even though she's not sure if she wants to be a ninja or not, I think she should be. I think she'd be dope as fuck as a ninja, because she already unlocked the Byakugan and like knocked Naruto out for the day. Like, that's the things I do like about Boruto. The little moments, the little slight things that just warm your heart. Like I said, the time slip arc was one of my favorites because you got to see everybody from back then, especially Neji. Neji makes an appearance in Boruto. How can I not like Boruto? How can I hate on it? Jiraiya makes an appearance and freaking Neji makes an appearance. How can I not like that? I stand for Neji. Also, I am rewatching Naruto. That's one of the things that Boruto will make you do. It will make you want to go back and watch Naruto, and it did. But again, those are some of my favorite arcs. Those are some of my favorite characters. Not so many characters I do like. I do like the class rep in New. I don't really like her team, like Wasabi and the other girl that cries too much. Oh God. I do like Metal Lee's team. I like Denki. Most of the teams I actually do like. I'm not also gonna lie to you, I do watch it just to see everybody else growing up. Honorable mention, there are some really good fights throughout Boruto. In the Kara Occupation arc, you get to see basically New Team 7 gets their ass whooped, except for Mitsuki. He has to end up like, you know, getting everybody out of there. However, we get some good training, and we also get to see Sarada open up her second token? You know what I'm talking about, the other shit in her Sharingan. And we also get to see her spar with Sakura, which was dope as fuck. We also got to see some Kakashi Boruto training, which was very reminiscent of Jiraiya, and how he was just like, Kakashi was just like, I'm gonna tell you this, and then that's what it's gonna be. Because at this point, Kakashi old, and he's like, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm tired of it. Too old for it. But still ended up helping. So, not to give too much away, definitely an arc you should watch. I mentioned it before anyway. But we got a lot of good fights, a lot of good character development. If not anything else, that is definitely one thing you get from Boruto. If there's anything you get from Boruto, you're gonna get good character development, and you're gonna get nostalgia. And now, here's some of the arcs I just think as a Naruto fan you should probably watch, because they're just good arcs and they relate to the manga and or adaptations of something important to the story. So, as I mentioned before, Arc 2, the Sarada Uchiha arc. I might be biased in mentioning it, but I also think it's important. The episode with Boruto's birthday, I'm not quite sure which arc that's in, but you should definitely watch that one because that's background information. Arc number 7, the Chunin exam arc, extremely important, especially because it's the adaptation of the movie. You can take it or leave it. I think you should watch it though. Great fight. That moves on to, I just think as a Naruto fan, the Mitsuki disappearance arc, you should watch it. Arc 16 all the way to Arc 20. Those arcs should basically be where you watch it. So again, Arc 2, Arc 7, and then basically 16 through 20. Yeah. Those are all the ones you should watch as a manga reader. As a fan of Naruto, of course, I said it right. As a fan of Naruto, you should definitely watch the Sarada Uchiha arc. You should watch the Chunin exam arc. You should definitely watch the Mitsuki disappearance arc, as well as the One Tail Escort and the Time Slip arc, of course, because hello, those are good arcs to watch. And the last couple arcs, which are related to the anime and are related to the manga, aka the super canon stuff, where we get into the real good story of Boruto. that's basically it, aside from just a lot of good fun stuff to watch. I recommend Boruto for anybody to watch. It does take a long time. I would recommend it with warning that if you watched Naruto before and you want in Shippuden, you might not want to just jump right into Boruto. You might just literally want to skip around. So I mentioned all the arcs you should skip around to and watch. I mentioned some of the stuff you should watch, like good episodes, some fights you should definitely watch. And I think that pretty much sums it up for our Boruto review, Manga Reader's Guide to Boruto, the anime. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you watched all my other videos. Hopefully you checked out my Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0 review. That was my first review coming back. This is my second. I'm probably going to work on a Tokyo Revengers review. I am an anime only at this point, but we all know that's not going to last long. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys subscribe to the channel and you like this video and you're sharing this video with your friends and you're telling your people about me. Hopefully you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. If you're a little makeup girl and you enjoy makeup, definitely check out my Instagram and my TikTok where I put together my looks and my makeup. Of course, follow me on Twitter. I'm always tweeting about some shit. I have threads of shows I'm watching. So I have a Boruto thread. I have a Naruto thread. I have a whole bunch of threads. Just catch me on there. It's Hayane on all social media platforms. And the fucking mower is fucking everything up. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.